welcome to my channel Gauri's 3 C's, and welcome back to this series of videos that I'm creating on my craft room tools and supplies, or my paper crafting tools and supplies. Today is episode 3 of this series, and I'm going to talk about paper and glue. So those are the two topics that I picked to talk about today. Let's start with paper and cardstock for starters. Now, as far as cardstock goes, as long as you're doing some kind of paper crafting, whether any kind of paper crafting, in the US here you'll find 3 different sizes of standard paper or cardstock that is available. They are available in this 8.5 by 11 size, or in this 12 by 12, or a 6 by 6 paper pack, a smaller 6 by 6 paper pack. What I'm showing you right now is a 8.5 by 11 white cardstock pack that I normally tend to use for my card base, because this is a heavier weight cardstock. It's 110 pound cardstock, each of them. It's pretty thick, and I use this for 3-dimensional objects as well as for the card base. As if I can give you a closer look into it, it is pretty stiff and thick cardstock, so use that for that. I tend to save most of it for paneling, because from a paneling standpoint, for mats, you don't need this thick cardstock. So I use the regular craft store kinds, which is lighter weight, and that works quite as well. This is one pack of 12 by 12 I'm showing. This as well, if you can see, is 100 weight. So I've not opened the pack as yet, but I'm hoping that it's going to be pretty strong and thick and sturdy. This is another 8.5 by 11, but this is, as you can see, it's 65 pound cardstock. This is lighter weight, and I use this kind of cardstock for any paneling and mats. I also have some special cardstock that I use for 3-dimensional objects more than anything else. This is a Paper Tray ink cardstock, 8.5 by 11. There are several companies that have good quality cardstock, and if you look online, you'll find many of them. But I tend to keep going back to Paper Tray ink. I've used a couple of their cardstock varieties in the past, and I really like the thickness of this. It really works well. So I have those that I use for 3-dimensional objects. That's pretty much on cardstock. I don't have much of the 6 by 6, but the 6 by 6 is available in case you want to take a look at that as well. So cardstock, sorry about that, cardstock is one. I also want to talk about the other type of paper which is used a lot in paper crafting, and that's pattern paper. Then there are a lot of crafters that just completely avoid pattern paper and just create their own patterns, and I really adore that. But I'm not that creative. I tend to go back to pattern paper whenever I need some color and design pre-created. So talking about pattern paper here, again, you have double-sided pattern paper. This is an example of double-sided paper pack. This is a smaller paper pack, but it also has some sheets with glitter, and so it's slightly specialty. This is double-sided. You could use either side depending on your project or the work that you are doing. There's also larger packs that I sometimes buy. These come in packs of 180 sheets, and these are single-sided. I've used a lot of them in my projects, and these are, the ones that I have at least are lighter, and they do work for some projects. Rarely, I also buy open stock cardstock, which is one sheet off here and there. It's not in a pack, but it's one off sheets, and I buy those. I just wanted to share some samples that I have here. This is a specialty cardstock that I purchased as an open stock one. This is a specialty one as well. I purchased a couple of sheets of that. You could even use cardstock, not traditionally, especially ones that have shapes like this. If you're not able to find or think of a project to use, you could fuzzy cut the patterns and then use that as a embellishment. That's just an idea there. This is I don't do as many baby projects or anything, but I did buy this big. I just like the color and the patterns there. Paper again is available in the same three sizes, typically 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11 again here in the US, and then 6 by 6. I don't have 6 by 6 paper pattern packs, but they are available. I don't have any. This is an 8.5 open stock sample that I wanted to share. So moving on from paper to another item, which again comes in several different varieties. All of it is glue, but sometimes if you see, some of it has a purpose that is best fit for certain things, and certain others are better. Certain other types of glue are best fit for other projects. So starting off, a basic hot glue gun, not necessarily a technically a paper crafting necessity, but it's just a crafting necessity. I think a hot glue gun is just so versatile that you will find and it's also not very expensive. So this is a hot glue gun that I have. You get them in low temperature and high temperature, easily available, not only in craft stores, but even in your big box stores or bigger stores that have a small craft section, like a Walmart if you live near one, or any a Target or any. So you'll find that craft hot glue guns are very easily available, and these are the hot glue gun refills. You could use them in a lot of your cardboard projects, felt projects, several other ones, even outside of paper crafting. So it's generally a good crafting tool and supply to keep on hand. Next, I wanted to talk about my tape gun. I have this Scotch ATG tape gun it has these refills of tape that go in, and these come in really handy when you have to put layers of paper or layers of cardstock together. It doesn't work very well for thicker paper or thicker cardstock, but if you're putting small layers of paper together or thinner layers of paper together, this seems to work really well. I wanted to share just how it works. I'm not going to be able to take this off and show you how the refill is loaded in, but that's easy and comes with the instructions. It just runs like a roller. So once you have the refill in, you just need to run it like a gun, hold it like a gun, and adhere your layers together. So you're putting these two, let's say you're putting these two layers together. They just go in one on top of the other. You may think that this is an extra accessory and may not necessarily be needed, but this is something that does come in handy if you're doing a lot of paper projects. Whether you do it as a hobby or you do it as a for commercial reasons, whatever it is, even if you do it as a hobby, which is what I do, I've found my tape gun come really handy for a lot of work that I do. So it's a useful tool to think of investing in. Another type of glue that I wanted to talk about is double-sided tape. Double-sided tape is it's not necessarily just for paper crafting, but especially if you're working on three-dimensional objects, then something more stronger than an average tape gun or a snail or any average tape is something that you will need for three-dimensional objects for it to stay put together for a longer period. So I just wanted to share a sample of a three-dimensional project I have here. This is just a gift package, a slightly masculine gift package, where there should be a seam on one side. So I think this is the seam here, and this seam has been put together with something stronger like a double-sided tape, and you'd need that for that. So that's more fit to purpose there. I also wanted to talk about some other types of adhesives. These are glue dots. This is the larger sized glue dot. Hopefully we can get to one that I can show you closer to the camera here. This is a larger sized glue dot, and this is a mini glue dot or a smaller size glue dot. And these come in handy when you are putting in embellishments that have a three-dimensional effect. So buttons, or if you have created any embellishments that you want to add on to your cards, a glue dot does come in handy. But this doesn't give you a dimension. So while these are handy, and you've probably seen one of my other videos where I talk about a Father's Day card, and I put in these buttons on the card. Those have been added on through mini glue dots. So that's another type of adhesive that's useful to have. One other one which you know, in the paper crafting world, these may be called sometimes called dimensionals, but they basically foam adhesives, or they come in squares and in different other sizes and shapes. These can add a little bit of dimensional to your object, whether it's a card or a you know, box. For example, if you're seeing there's a little bit of dimension to this embellishment that's been added to the box, and that can be done by using a foam adhesive like this. So those are again another type of adhesive that's suitable for that work. Lastly, Mod Podge. This is such a versatile decoupage. Decoupaging is one. It is still a glue, but it also acts as a sealant. It acts as a finish. It can be used on wood, on paper, on metal, on fabric. There's just different kinds and varieties of Mod Podge that is available in the market. Mod Podge is a brand, but it's just become a staple, and it's very commonly used. And there are a lot of projects that you will find using Mod Podge. You'll find a lot of projects that you can work on using Mod Podge. So that's another type of glue that I also wanted to share as a supply to add to the list of glue types that I was talking about. For this video, I think I will conclude with just the paper and glue, and I will continue on in my next video with some additional supplies and tools that I have in my craft room. Hope you enjoyed watching this video, and do keep on the lookout for other videos as well, and check out my previous videos in this series. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next one.